So our lead this hour is from La La Land, the postmortem. We're doing the autopsy on the Lakers. The bodies dead there, killed by Rudy Gobert, of all people. Yikes. I saw video of Ant Edwards doing a victory lap around the arena there in L.A., but it should have been Rudy Gobert that was doing a victory lap. So the autopsy on the Lakers getting tossed into the ocean, done in the NBA playoffs. So LeBron James has been called out for his vanishing act, the greatest player of all time. At the end of every one of those games was measurably bad. So if you haven't been keeping track, you've got pundit after pundit barking about LeBron this and all that. So that's fine. One of the comments that was sent to me by several listeners was a former NBA player named Jeff Teague, who was pretty average. He was an all-star one year, played mostly for the Atlanta Hawks. So Jeff Teague said that LeBron James doesn't care about the game anymore. He's laughing and joking in the middle of a playoff game. And that has been the sentiment. That has been the sentiment, that LeBron's just not into it, that he's been doing this for so long, he's just numb to it all. So let us discuss the question. What is your judgment on LeBron James and his approach, his attitude, his status, if you will, all of those different things with the Lakers? So I've got Motley Crue, Gift Basket, and the Vampire Diaries. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make crunchy tacos is what we're going to make. Delicious, crunchy tacos. So first of all, LeBron James gets a C for his Laker tenure this season, as in content, right? I see a guy who is content. I see a guy who is traveling down the winding road. It's called Glory Road. LeBron is playing at this point for two reasons. He's playing at this point because he wants to continue to have that access to all the Hollywood friends and all that he's assembled since he got to L.A. And obviously for his kid who can't play, who he's forced on the Lakers, Bronny James, who took up a roster spot. And he doesn't have the Mamba mentality, right? Like, Kobe Bryant at the end of his career was broken down and was a shell of what he had been, but he approached the game the same way that he had in his younger days. And I look at LeBron, and I don't think LeBron ever had that. I don't think he had that approach. However, he did have a much different attitude than he appears to have at this point. It's just blasé. Am I wrong on that? It just feels blasé. And I was criticized in a previous hour by my producer, Justin Cooper, for pointing out LeBron James is the most overrated player in the NBA right now. But the proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the record. The last 14 playoff games the Lakers have had with LeBron James, they're 2-12. They are 2-12 in their last 14 playoff games. At this point, LeBron is like Vince Neil. Vince Neil, right? Motley Crue. Music legend, right? I don't really have the music gene, but I understand he's had some difficulty in the vocal department, which is a problem if you're in that world. And because of his age and you're a rock and roll guy, you make some decisions with the sex, drugs, and rock and roll and all that, and mainly the sex and the drugs, and it impacts your ability to, at this point in your life, to deliver the type of performance that people grew accustomed to. And so what happens is, you're not obviously in your heyday. LeBron, we know he's not in his heyday, and he still looks like Adonis. And during the regular season, the numbers are there. There's a little slippage. But like an old singer, it's a lot of nostalgia. It's a lot of nostalgia. At this point, he's very, very dependent on the people around him, much like Vince Neil needs his bandmates and all that to pick him up. LeBron needs his teammates to pick him up. Now, would the Lakers move on from LeBron James this offseason? And the only answer to that is N+O, no. Like, should they move on? Yes. Like, just allow Luka to be the center of the universe and just build the team around Luka and that's it. But they don't have the balls to do that. They don't. The Lakers, one of the great flaws of that franchise, they got a terrible owner, one of the worst owners in sports, Jeannie Buss. LeBron is an aging headliner, and that franchise has been infected with celebrity worship syndrome. They are a mix of jock sniffers and star effers. For example, take a listen to Skinny Jeans' Rob Pelinka. All right, listen to Rob Pelinka here. Now, if you're running the Lakers, shouldn't you come out and say, listen, my job is to put the top team on the court for the franchise, for the fans, and for the people that are here. Listen to what Rob Pelinka stated the agenda is for the Lakers in the offseason. Take a listen.
LeBron is a GOAT, one of the GOATs of the game, and he's a completely selfless leader, and I think we saw that in this playoff series, moving to playing more off the ball and committing to the defensive end, and I think it's just a testament to his championship DNA and character. And I think LeBron's going to have high expectations for the roster, and we're going to do everything we can to meet those. But I also know that whatever it is, he's going to still give his 100% every night.
Wow. What you heard right there was Rob Pelinka. It was like he was at a 7-Eleven and slurpy, 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 if you know what I mean. All right, now, secondly, what an embarrassment that is. My God. Speaking of embarrassments, your head coach is a schmuck and a podcaster, JJ Redick, the first-year coach, who's now, I guess, going to be back. I would have fired him. He made a comment that has gone viral in the autopsy the day after his team was beaten by Rudy Gobert. You know how many coaches have advanced in the NBA playoffs because Rudy Gobert sucks? JJ Redick allowed Rudy Gobert to turn into Godzilla. Anyway, so the comment that has a lot of legs here is Redick said he urged the roster to, quote, get in championship shape. Okay, that's what he said. Well, again, rather than me give you the full quote, here's JJ Redick. This is the money quote. Take a listen.
I'll start with the offseason and the work that's required in an offseason to be in championship shape. And, we have a ways to go as a roster. And certainly there are individuals that were in phenomenal shape. There's certainly other ones that could have been in better shape. That's where my mind goes immediately is we have to get in championship shape.
Okay, so what do you make of that? Get into championship shape. That's from podcaster JJ Redick, who's masquerading as a Laker coach. Okay, so every man, woman, and child knows he's talking about what? Hookah Luka. He's obviously talking about Luka. But he didn't have the balls to say that, right? He didn't just come out and name Luka. So he said, we have to get in championship shape. Who else on the team's not in shape? Who? Seriously. And isn't it your job as the coach of the team to make sure the players are in shape? Like, isn't that part of the job? Am I mistaken? Is that now not part of the job? Like, isn't that part of the deal? I know you got the training staff and you got 8 million assistant coaches and all that, but how is that not part of the deal? Like, during the season, the only big addition was Luka Doncic. And what really JJ Redick's saying, you have to be in shape because I might not play anyone other than you for the entire game. So you better be in shape. It's also a way to pass the blame, is it not? It's a way to pass the blame. Everyone knew that Luka was jumbo-sized when he came over from Dallas. And if you didn't know that, you weren't paying attention because Nico Harrison and the people around the Mavericks, they leaked to anyone that would listen, tubby, tubby, tubby. He's a tubby, tubby, tubby. And then the Lakers were like, well, he's just big-boned. It's genetics, it's big-boned and all that. But, again, instead of calling Luka out, JJ, the podcaster, used the Cliff Notes version of what LeBron does. LeBron, and I know why they're besties. No wonder they're besties, right? JJ Redick and LeBron are the princes of passive-aggressive behavior. Little subtle insults, little stubbornness. You act like a child, very unlikable. Now, Luka, I would imagine when he left the Laker facility at his closeout interview, the Lakers, JJ Redick gave him a gift basket, and in the gift basket was a membership to 24 Hour Fitness and a Costco-sized container of Ozempic. Right? Here you go. Knock yourself out. Have a great offseason. And here's some hookah for you as well. Now, nothing is going to change. Right? Nothing is going to change. Because Luka is still a very productive player. And it's one of those things like he's fit, fat during the regular season. He can get his numbers, put up great stats. And late in games, he becomes a plump chump late in games. That's a problem. Nothing's going to really go upside down in that direction. I'd be stunned if that's the case. And even if he shows up in shape, he'll start eating donuts every day, and that'll be that. All right, now, final thought. So one of the other people being called out here as we do the autopsy as Rudy Gobert killed the Lakers, Minnesota advances. Austin Reaves. I am old enough to remember when I was told Austin Reaves is the greatest third option in the NBA. I was told that. He's an all-star level ball player. How lucky are the Lakers? Austin Reaves. They found the next big thing. The perfect complement to Luka and LeBron. Well, if you saw the series between LA and Minnesota, Austin Reaves was a ghost. Not a friendly ghost. He was just a ghost. And he admitted that he sucked at a time you cannot suck. He essentially admitted that he was in the very front seat on the Vomit Comet in the postseason. He took responsibility for the performance against Minnesota. How concerned should the Lakers be with Austin Reaves going forward? So on the MALLER scale of concern, 1 to 10, with 10 being, oh my God, playoff hardened. Oh my God. I'm at an 8. I'm at an 8, and this is a reality check. It just is a reality check, right? Because Austin Reaves was on this magic carpet ride during the regular season. He was having massive offensive games on a regular basis. And the dopes who follow the NBA and are supposed to be the real ones that know everything, they were talking him up, upselling Austin Reaves as the number 3 option, the greatest number 3 option in the NBA, all-star level talent, and all of this. It turns out he was the Iceman, but not the Iceman, the Ice Cube Man. He melted under the heat of playoff basketball. It was the Vampire Diaries, and he saw the sunlight. He saw the sunlight. Now, what is my evidence? All right. Austin Reaves played more minutes in the playoffs and on average and was measurably worse. Reaves' scoring average from the regular season to the playoffs was down almost 20%. Almost 20%. His true shooting percentage fell 13%. He was taking less efficient shots from the regular season. He was forcing shots. But wait, there's more. Austin Reaves' field goal percentage was down. His three-point shooting was down. And so he was playing against a team that was able to defend him in Minnesota, and he did not have an answer. His turnovers increased. His assists decreased across the board. Now, the question that must be asked is this a one-off? We don't know, right? Is this what you're going to get? And if this is what you're going to get, it doesn't matter what other moves you make. You're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. If this is the player who's a fraud in the plus, and right now you'd have to say Austin Reaves is a fraud, a total fraud, the way that he played. I'm just judging him off the body of his work.